works. It didn't work before.
And now we're ready.
Welcome to From the Logo. Wow, we look far away on this. The door is big. We might need to get it closer. We're watching the Bucks and the Blazers. Be sure to join us.
We figured we'd try something different this week. Just kind of hang out. This is a good place to hang out. Have some discussion with us. Maybe have a nice chat.
Comment your questions if you have any, and we'll be sure to respond.
We can make sure to cheer and support the Blazers together, and we can also kind of take a look around the rest of the NBA as we're going through that. Unfortunately, because of the NBA's extreme copyright laws, we can't stream the game.
We only have the express written consent of Root. We don't have NBA.
But we can talk about the game and chat if you guys want to have us on in the background.
There we are.
So the game so far has been pretty much looking like an all Giannis party. Then the Blazers are putting up a fight.
Yeah, down two.
Yeah, Shaden's looking pretty good. Is this Shaden's first start?
No, Shaden started a couple earlier in the year when Simons and Dame were missing games. And he looked pretty good, as is tradition, as he always does. And honestly, Shaden really needs more shots and minutes in general. He's been the Blazers' best shooter out there so far in the early season, which says a lot.
I thought in that Brooklyn game, he was our best player in that entire game. He was the only guy who could create his own shot, it seemed like. Their length was just really wrecking Simons and Lillard. It's like, I kind of wanted him out there during the closing minutes of the fourth quarter. We didn't have him. I think it hurt us.
Yeah, that was one of the main things that I had on my list to talk about today, was that I just want to see Shaden get more time and more opportunity, because, I mean, we were talking about this the other day. He's shooting like one of the
Right
highest
on cue.
percentages.
Oh.
We're going to react to every shot like this, by the way. Oh!
He got foul. Oh, he should have got foul call right there.
Trey Eubanks, man, that dude he's been our savior in a lot of games.
Yeah, he's been hustling. He's been outplaying Nurk arguably in a couple games.
Yeah, I know. He has some of the most energy out of any of the players on our team.
Watford.
Sorry, you can finish your thought, right?
Well, yeah, Shaden's shooting like one of the highest percentages in the NBA, you know, within his range, and
Oh yeah.
not only shooting really well from three, but also shooting well from mid-range. It's not all dunks that he's getting these high percentages on. And so, you know, we want to see him get more opportunities, because he seems to be making the most of them. I mean, notwithstanding that he's 1 for 4 tonight, that doesn't matter, right?
No, but he's had good looks so far tonight. And
Yeah.
you know those are going to start dropping after a little while, because he's been that efficient. I mean, and he's not going to be the key focus of the defense. That's going to be Simons, obviously. So let's see how it goes with him getting extended run tonight. I really hope that Chauncey just lets the leash loose. Just let him go.
Maybe lets him close the game. That's one thing that I haven't seen him in there in the last few minutes of the game yet. It'd be fun to watch.
Yeah. But we'll see how it goes, and there's also limited kind of options in terms of guards in general, other than Keon right now.
Is he still hurt, or does he come back?
That's a good question.
He's been out for a while
Haven't seen
now.
him. Eubanks with a massive block.
Eubanks can get up there and really affect a lot of shots. That's one thing I've talked to some people about so far this year, is it just seems like if he's in the vicinity, even if he doesn't get to it, he makes people release in a way they don't want to have to release.
Yeah, totally.
He kind of reminds me of like Josh Hart, but 6 inches taller, whatever. Maybe not quite 6 inches, but just he really never gives up on a play.
That's it. The constant energy. Energizer Bunny and Winslow is
I know.
automatic with the left-handed
Flip
floaters.
shots.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been on one with those flip shots. Nice,
Jeez.
4-point Blazers lead.
Yeah, they've played well this quarter. I think one of the key things, honestly, lately is the offense stalling. I think that the offense has just been. The defense has still been pretty good in most games. It's the offense.
Utah game, there was a few. Yeah, that was fun. There was a few stretches in that Utah game where it seemed like the defense kind of. I just think that they were feeling it as far as the pressure goes. They were kind of. Some of the things started to fall apart a little bit when they got down like 16 or whatever.
But in the fourth quarter, they've played really well on defense, and they're alive and well on that side of the ball. But the offense stalls. We tend to over dribble. We see a lot of Simons ISOs and Dame ISOs. So hopefully, as the game goes on, this one we keep sharing the ball.
Yeah, it feels a little bit like an artifact of old time Blazer
Yeah.
basketball. That kind of slow ISO. It almost like
Giannis.
it almost came from McMillan originally, and then like stuck in there through
He's
Stott's
the
years.
grandfather
Yeah.
of ISO Roy Ball.
Yeah, and yeah, it's definitely not what we want to see from Simons and Lillard, because when the ball moves, we do a lot better. The downside is that we have been turning the ball over a lot more by
Definitely.
trying to move the ball more. It's kind of that Warriors syndrome.
I was about to say, I think that's one of the worst things that your team can do, though, is turn the ball over a lot, because it's a symptom of moving the ball. Not always, but
Yeah.
with a team that wins that has high turnovers, it's a lot of times kind of getting too crazy with the playmaking.
And that's something, as the season goes, you can kind of correct the turnovers as long as you can just kind of wake up and not let it become your mentality as a team.
Maybe even more so like in the playoffs. You
Oh,
can-
at the buzzer.
Good if it goes.
How do you like those carpet jerseys, Colton?
So far, I've noticed the severe lack of winning when wearing the carpet jerseys, and I'm kind of a superstitious guy, so let's tone it down until we can win a couple games.
Yeah, it's like they're not even wearing their other jerseys anymore. All I've seen is carpet jerseys the past like.
I mean, okay, so taking a look at the score after the first quarter, 32-30, I think I'd take that every day.
Oh yeah.
Any time you can win a quarter against Milwaukee,
At
even if it's
home,
only by 2, yeah. you
in
take that.
Fiserv, of all places.
Yeah, they're 8-1 at home.
Taking a
11-4
look-
overall.
Taking a look at some of the other scores in the NBA.
Around the league.
I want to point something out that Blazer fans will like, and that is the Golden State Warriors are currently losing to the Pelicans 35-13
Oh
in
man,
the first quarter.
I don't
So
know. Is
they are
that
getting-
something we like? Who's more likely to be our rivals this year between Golden State and the Pelicans? We don't need the Pelicans. to lose.
Riley is a Warriors apologist. He loves the Warriors.
I love seeing the Warriors lose and lose big time.
But that's not even my point. My point is that we might actually end up like in a race in the Western Conference against
It could
New
be either
Orleans
one of
more
those
than
teams.
Golden State. Golden State's like not even in the play-in game at this point.
Oh,
Not
no.
yet.
No Clay, no Steph.
Ah.
Their starting lineup is Jordan Poole, DiVincenzo, Looney, Lamb. Who is a Lamb? Anthony Lamb.
He's a starting
Oh,
forward
man.
for the Golden State
Kuminga.
Warriors.
The only two players who scored in the starting lineup are Jordan Poole and Kuminga.
Jordan Poole has really disappointed throughout the beginning of this year. He's had about 1 or 2 good games from what I've
He's still
seen.
seeing stars, bro. He's like, like Tweety Bird.
Oh, from getting sucker punched? I see.
Draymond Punch!
That's interesting. I'm curious to see if that team will splinter and kind of crumble apart
I could see it going either
when
way.
they start losing.
Yeah, I could see them completely falling apart and absolutely being in a situation where they have to, blow it up or change things. Or I could see them coming together around the All-Star break and making a huge push to get back into the playoffs again. And if they get into the playoffs, they'd be scary.
Exactly. Just keep them out. Let them sit on the sidelines for once and not let them get Victor, though. Make sure they're like the first team out of the playoffs. That way they can just sit there and not get a good draft pick either. Because
They're good at winning, but they're also good at losing too. They had that one season where they tanked, and they tanked spectacularly.
But they-
Blazers tried to do that last year, and
it worked out pretty well.
yeah, I guess not as well as we would have hoped, but we ended up getting a good pick out of it.
Yeah, but
I'm
you
not
look at-
complaining.
if you look at, some of the guys drafted ahead of Sharp, I mean, Banchero is a stud, and
Yeah.
he'll be a superstar for years to come. Kind of like what we were talking about. But Jabari Smith
I was just about to say,
has been
I'm
really disappointing.
curious about him. I wonder if he'll pull it together or not. You know who looks good as Matherin.
But yeah, Matherin has been a problem.
He was picked one pick ahead of Shaden, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
Yeah. But going in, I can't say at all that I'm like disappointed with the Sharp pick because it's so far looked awesome.
Yeah, I think like a lot of people have said, he probably has the highest ceiling out of maybe any of those players.
One thing I really like about Shaden is that he's obviously insanely athletic and he uses his athleticism, but it doesn't seem like his game's going to be 100% dependent on his athleticism. I've heard some people, over the last few months make the Kobe comparison, and that's obviously a big leap, but it kind of does remind you of that a little bit, in that a lot of his ability is from his skill, like actual shooting skill,
Justice Winslow has got the left-handed floater on lock tonight.
Speaking of skill,
I hope Justice Winslow drops a 50 bomb tonight.
That would be that'd be the best thing since
Andre Miller. That's what I was thinking. It's the new Andre Miller. Oh, right on cue. There's a turnover by Nasir Little. And a weak foul called on Pat
Connaughton.
Connaughton headed to the
Former
line.
Blazer legend Pat Connaughton.
He's gonna be the one that drops the 50 bomb tonight.
I hope. I'd be fine with that.
Yeah,
Patty C.
I like seeing Pat do well. I mean, not against us. But.
Yeah, he's probably been one of the most successful ex-Blazers that I can even think of. That's one thing that I hang my hat on in some weird form of satisfaction is
Little
that
Schadenfreude.
yeah, the ex-Blazers have been notoriously unsuccessful. Like Patty Mills,
Jake Layman.
Patty Mills, and Pat Connaughton. The Patties are the only ones that I can think of that have had decent success. Alan Crabb is another one.
He was out of the league after 2 years.
I remember when we had to get rid of him, I was like, oh, this dude's gonna end up killing us over the next couple of years, and I don't even.
He was all 3, no D.
And he
that was the
got a
problem.
ton of money from Brooklyn too, right?
Well, we paid
Well,
him.
we matched it, Neil, and then we
traded him.
Yeah.
to
we were
Brooklyn.
paying for Andrew Nicholson to this day. I'm pretty sure.
We're never gonna stop paying for Andrew Nicholson.
Nope. Blazers hanging in there. Still, they're up 2 right now, and
With the ball.
Just a barrage of Justice Winslow floaters.
I have to say, I kind of like the carpet jerseys as far as how they look. I think they look pretty
I do
nice.
too.
I just would love to see us win a game.
It's a weird color. I mean,
teal.
yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
just not very Blazers, but
Yeah, it's like a Miami alternate jersey.
yeah.
I can see that,
Go
but it is.
travel.
The Miami Vice.
Mhm.
Oh,
Brooke Lopez, your favorite.
Lopez just.
I do love
wandering
Brooke
down the
Lopez, and I
lane.
love Robin Lopez.
You're
love
an
the Lopez
unabashed Giannis and Bucks supporter.
brothers. I am.
I think we need to get you a jersey.
I'd be fine with that. Get it a Cream City jersey. That was one of their
You
alternates.
like to have cream.
They're not allowed to wear the Cream City jerseys anymore. Did you guys hear about that?
Why?
I don't know the reason, but the NBA said that they couldn't wear those
Wow.
anymore.
There's like
Just
no
no.
more. No more. We've had enough.
You lost your Cream City privileges.
So looking at the box scores right now, the Grayson Allen is 3 for 4 with 8 points. We had a commenter mention that they'd like to see the Blazers make a move for Grayson Allen.
Here's the thing, because
that was a long.
everybody has that reaction to because it's Grayson Allen, right? He's had so many incidents, tripping and ill
Kicking people in the nuts.
will fouls. Yeah,
Intentionally hurting people for no good reason.
I mean, I wouldn't say intentionally hurting people, but dirty definitely.
Some of them
And-
are borderline.
He's turned into a good player. I mean, the question is, do we want that on the team at what price and at what cost? Blazer fans are really gun shy since the Jailblazer era
Yeah.
because anybody with any kind of a bad situation or mentality, we're gonna take a harder look at them. I do think the Blazers could use another knockdown shooter if we could find that. So I agree with that commenter that would be a great idea to get another shooter, but Grayson Allen just makes you pause. He really does.
Ooh, Simons.
Yeah, that's where
Oh
I'm
no,
at.
that's Josh.
I'd love to see the Blazers try to get another shooter, although in a second we'll get to the other option. But I'd love to see him get another shooter, but I just don't see Grayson Allen as being our magic bullet, that we need to put us over the top. I mean, like you said, Blazer fans, we went through it with some rough character, and then, really Brandon Roy kind of set the ship right a little bit, and since then we've had really good luck with character on our team,
Mm-hmm.
and it would be a bummer to have to take a step back, but
I think this is a question for Blazer fans. At what point are we like, okay, we're past the Jail Blazer era. Let's just go get guys who will win. And I'm not saying like guys who are like murderers off the court, but when are we gonna make that move where we're like, I'm fine with a guy that's
Bring back
really
Zach
annoying.
Randolph and Quintel Woods.
the thing is, and I'll
As
just
Grayson Allen splashes it.
No,
But
that's
that's
Pat
fine.
Connaughton.
They look pretty similar.
Racist.
I'm gonna take the side of the gun shy Blazer fan here and say that I think part of it is that the two things tend to kind of go together. Like, I mean, you can have really talented players who suck off the court. That does happen, but man, a lot of times they turn into locker room cancer, and those teams don't actually do that well. When you look at teams that have had like continued sustained success over multiple years, they tend to be teams with pretty good character.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the best examples is San Antonio. Popovich wouldn't have put up with a Grayson Allen on his team.
I would argue that a lot of teams, though, have had an enforcer that is kind of really annoying.
Is
or
Grayson
almost
Allen
dirty.
going to be our
No, but
enforcer?
I'm just saying you can win like games with a guy that isn't the greatest chemistry wise. I think if Draymond Green was on a different team, everyone would hate him and think he's a bad person and player. He
I
just
mean, people
winning
already kind of
cures-
do.
I know, but winning cures all that. And so, at what point do you go in and say, okay, we'll take a guy that's really talented, even if people don't like him, because that will just give us the grit. I'm not saying that's Grayson Allen. I'm just saying character-wise.
It's funny is
overall.
the player you're describing sounds more like Josh Hart than Grayson Allen to me, but it does sound like we're probably going to have to at some point trade Josh Hart just because of the contract situation. Are we going to be, because next season we're going to have to sign both him and Jeremy Grant, right? Isn't that the issue?
And Winslow.
Yeah, we're probably going to
We have to decide, and Winslow's going to be cheaper than Josh Hart. And Winslow has also provided a great piece this year for the Blazers so far. So
the ball handling at his size has been really a game changer for the Blazers. Being able to have a forward bring the ball up the court, and he's also a magnificent passer, maybe the best passer on the team.
mm-hmm. And that's the problem is, as currently constructed, I still think we're at least a piece away, and it's probably a decently significant piece at some part.
DeAndre
Position.
Ayton.
DeAndre Ayton.
It's
Yeah.
the one that always comes up in Blazer
I don't think
circles.
DeAndre Ayton has sprinted down the court once this year. So I don't know. That's kind of scary. I think
That's my problem with him is his mentality, but I don't know if it would be better on another team. I think maybe he's just.
What about Grayson Allen's mentality?
I don't know. He's been
I
a
know.
weirdo on a few teams. But
Just Duke, right? And Duke in Milwaukee.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's two pretty good teams that he's been on.
Yeah. And the Grizzlies, he was all right.
Oh, he was on Memphis too. That's right.
But we'll see what happens. We'll see what that piece is. The point is, Hart might be the odd guy out, sadly.
Which yeah, I really like watching. I really like his game.
Me too. But we're gonna have to see what that fit is and what kind of a trade that Joe can come up with. Because if we just go back and re-sign all these guys, I mean, we've seen a good competitive team so far this year, but I still think that there's that next move that shifts you into like that full contender mode.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Durant.
He's not going anywhere now that
Yeah.
Ben Simmons is back. To
Now that the
normal.
team's starting. Kyrie came back too last night.
A week ago, it was looking like KD might be, thinking about making an exit again, but things change so fast, and yeah, it seems like Brooklyn's back on the winning track, at least for now.
We have a video coming out tomorrow that was shot last Monday, and all of the takes are wrong. Just to warn you guys.
That's how fast things change in the
The
NBA.
NBA changes very fast. We look like idiots on almost all of our takes. Not all of them. Some of them hold up. But
But maybe by tomorrow, when it comes out, they'll be true again.
Do you know what take doesn't look like an idiot made it? The Sacramento Kings have
are
won
starting
6 games.
Davion Mitchell? No, they're not.
They've won 6 games in a row. They're coming for a playoff spot. Watch out. The Kings are for real. I've been saying it since the summer, since the off season, and they've been playing really well. So
I'm happy for you, Colton.
hey, you know what? That team, the fans of that team, I mean, they
Yeah,
haven't made the playoffs.
They
in
deserve
how
some
long?
success. They do.
Yeah, I want them to experience some kind of
Cow
success.
Palace
Needs more cowbell.
Needs more cowbell.
And Giannis Euro steps his way to the lane for an easy layup.
Greek steps. Oh, Dame over there in street clothes.
Yeah.
Get used to seeing that.
How are we feeling about that? Do we think this is just? I mean, this is the second time.
It's the time of year for this to happen. Is the one thing I would say. It's like if it's gonna happen, hopefully it's early in the season and he can get his feet underneath him by the time it matters.
Josh
most.
Hart keeps shooting threes and we actually get some scoring out of him. We don't need Dame as much in there.
Yeah, that's one thing about Josh Hart is he's had a rough few games scoring.
Says shut up about Josh Hart.
Yeah, Hart has seemed kind of hesitant to shoot in some games, so
Which is
kind of
interesting because last year he averaged career highs in points. And, I mean, I understand he knows he's surrounded by scorers.
great ball movement. Oh, Simons, you got to make that. Oh, Josh Hart with the hustle play, Nurkic with the lay-in, and he makes it.
Nurkic with a flip shot around the hoop. What?
Sometimes they work. We're ahead in this game, partially because of the Nurkic flip shots. Don't hate.
Yeah, Blazers holding strong in this first half so far.
Wow. I don't know. I think that is Nurkic Giannis's primary matchup here, or is it Josh Hart? It looks like it's Josh Hart.
Yeah, because I think Nurkic is more on Lopez.
Yeah.
Euro. Oh, you missed.
Wow. Josh Hart's definitely a grit and competitor,
Yeah, I
but he's
know.
a little small for Giannis matchup. Oh, and he buys
Threw
another
that
possession.
Yeah.
He's good at rebounding. That's probably been one of the most impressive things about him this year is his rebounding.
Mm-hmm.
And just like the 50-50 balls, his ability to get those.
Yeah, that's something that we'd be missing if we did have to give him up. Hopefully Winslow can continue to step into that role. The one thing Winslow does that's a lot like what Josh Hart does. Ooh, not shoot like that, but he just pushing the ball up the floor. You know, that's something that they both do that we've needed for a long time to
Definitely.
give our shooters an opportunity to be spot up guys instead of
To trail the fast.
Shaden's back in there. Shaden alert. That wasn't Shaden that missed.
no.
Jeremy. Jeremy makes that mid-range, though.
Yeah.
He can score at all three levels. Shaden can score at all three levels, too. It's a nice thing to have.
Extremely high percentage so far too. I mean, you have to assume that those percentages will start to come down at some point when he takes more of a big volume of shots. But
It was funny how it kind of made the rounds around the league a few nights ago that like Shaden's he's shooting unbelievable percentages, needs more looks, and then in the last game he went like 0 for 3 or whatever, kind of had his first dud.
But he did not play at all very much minutes that last game. And I think as a rookie, you're going to have that happen when you play really limited minutes.
Josh is 4 for 4. Start the game. 1 for 1 from 3, 1 for 1 from the line.
and to travel.
Yeah, right on
One
cue.
turnover.
Right on cue.
But
But
that's okay.
all the things he's been doing tonight has been positive. Hustling, getting loose balls, hitting his shots. I mean, you take what you can get. Sometimes that energy leads to a turnover every once in a while, but
Mhm.
as long as you don't let that cascade into like an avalanche of turnovers, then you're all right.
Yeah, it's kind of like what.
Grayson Allen drawing the foul. If only we had that on our team.
Yeah. Now, even if Josh Hart does end up just being kind of a rental guy who's maybe just there for couple of years, he could still be a good kind of set the culture a little bit, help to set that, with these young guys as far as the hustling and the up-tempo basketball. And he's really good, I think, for all these. I mean, he's not old by any means, but he's older than some of these guys, and so they're kind of looking up to him for
Shaden.
to set the expectation.
If we could get Josh Hart, Hustle, and Shaden, that would be legendary.
Shaden's got a lot of good mentors. I mean, I think the only mentor I don't want him to be talking to too much is Nurk, because I want him to keep dunking the ball. Flip shots
He
in.
just gets right over the rim, jumps 10 feet above the rim, and flips it in.
Oh, and Simon's with the rip through. We've seen that from Dame a time or two.
Speaking of mentorship,
Yeah.
I wonder where he got that move from. You saw Dame on the sideline talking with GP2. That's been kind of a delayed comeback.
Yeah,
him.
I thought he was supposed to come back last week.
It seems like all season they've been saying, a few games away.
I would rather them err on the side of caution.
Oh, of course.
You need him. If you're going to make a playoff push, GP2 is the guy
He's
want.
going to be the next Festus Ezeli.
Don't say that.
Signing
Don't
from
say
Golden
that.
State that doesn't play a minute.
Don't say that. That's not happening.
Okay.
I have
You
faith.
insist.
I have faith. I mean, he hasn't been an injury-prone player in his career up to this point. I think we got to give him the benefit of the doubt here. And I mean, the fact that he was close. I don't think Festus Ezeli was ever close to suiting up for the Blazers. He was always a couple months away. Ooh, Sharp with some great defense, but it doesn't matter. Bobby Portis.
It's too tall.
That dude has found a home in Milwaukee the last couple of years.
He's really loved there too. It seems like they like that hustle.
They're probably chanting Bobby right now. We can't hear because we got it muted.
Oh, Nurk for a corner three. I don't like that.
Yeah, that was ugly.
Nurk's been actually splashing his threes, but at the top of the key, not in the corner. I don't trust his corner travel.
Oh.
You're calling a lot of travels in this game. That's been an interesting development this year, as they're trying to tamp down on that, which is something that people have been complaining about in the NBA my entire life. I feel like that they're just let guys get away with too many travels. So they're trying to. It's interesting. It seems like it disproportionately affects taller players. I've noticed, like the guys who, like Jeremy Grant, for example, who kind of take the ball from the top of the key
long strides
and sort of start their dribble, before they. It's a long way for the ball to go to get down to the ground, and it throws the timing off to have to get the ball on the ground before you get your foot down.
In the Brooklyn game.
Oh, nice take.
In the Brooklyn game, Kevin Durant had a few moments like that where it looked like he traveled and they didn't call it, and Dame was like on the sidelines begging for a call.
Yeah.
And now Milwaukee's starting to hit every single jumper.
Yeah, that was quick.
They just hit about 3 contested threes in a row, deep, off the fast break, off the dribble.
I want to see him keep going through Grant.
That Budenholzer offense.
Ooh, good move. Oh, that was a goaltend? Not called. But Nurkic with the hustle, and he's fouled.
That's fine. Nurkic can go to the line. I'll take it.
Nurkic has actually been hitting his free throws this year from what I've seen. He missed a couple, but...
Yeah, I've liked a lot of what I've seen from Nurk. He's just, I just don't think he's ever going to get back to throwing the ball down, because I think he just got thrown, it messed him up when he got hurt, That's a thing that you see happen, especially with big guys. Like, the ability for a 300-pound, 7-foot man to jump and dunk is already, tenuous at best. And then you throw in a catastrophic leg injury from just landing wrong. They're not going to take off anymore, and if they don't have to. They're not going to have the confidence to do it.
He's shooting 77% from the free throw line this year, which is
pretty good.
He shot 69% last year
Nice.
and 61% the year before, 62%
Not
the
nice.
year before that. So
Right.
he's improved almost 16 percentage points in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Not bad, Nurk.
Maybe a couple
And
points
that's
a game.
that's since the injury, basically.
Yeah.
Career percentage 67.5. So yeah, shooting by far his best this year.
He's got to keep it up, but I think that the main thing is to just go up on balance. He'll get fouled 90% of the time because he's the biggest guy on the floor a lot of the time. If he just sets his feet and goes up strong, not off balance and just flinging the shot as he falls, or because a lot of times he's leaning over, doing a scoop shot, falling, and it's dude, that's what I do, and I'm 6 feet tall, and you're a foot taller and 100 pounds.
Yeah, he doesn't need to play finesse.
Yeah.
I do get the point about not really being able to explode anymore, but like you said, he just needs to go up strong. And
a hook shot's not a bad shot for him in close, in a flip shot. It's just when he's flailing around trying to get a call or something, that's when it gets ugly.
He needs to just be deliberate and strong,
Yes.
and really focus on using his upper body strength to just power the ball in, rather than kind of trying to get around guys and stuff, because He's just too big for that level of finesse in the NBA.
Nurkic has a post move where it's the drop step. He'll like go in and then like seal them and then spin around them and just like flip it in. When he goes to that, he scores like 90% of the time unless they call like they flop, right? But
yeah, he hooks that elbow or whatever.
Yeah, but he kind of does it like sneaky, like keeps his elbows in. So if he does more post moves like that rather than like the flailing, like falling on the ground Nurkic that we've seen sometimes, he can be an effective player. So he just needs to keep it up.
Do you think he can be the center on a championship team, or do we still think that that's just a piece that's got to move?
I think that's a piece of the past type of center. I don't know.
Yeah.
If it's championship or bust, like what are we waiting for? Just the right deal?
Probably. Or, I mean, I think he can be a good bench piece. He's not really being paid like a good bench piece at this point, but he seems like the type of player who can work in certain situations, but I just imagine in a playoff series against a smart coach, they're going to coach him out of the series for sure.
If they have a guy like, if you have amazing players around him where your best player on the team is like the top player in the league, he could probably win a championship with him as the center, but he's situational because of the fact that he can't switch as much on defense. I mean, he can, but he can't keep up with the guards.
If you look at like the best version of Nurk, it's probably someone like Rudy Gobert, like a 7-foot center, and he can't stay in a series either. He's like a multiple-time defensive player of the year and considered like one of the most dominant 7-footers in the league.
Good move by Nurk, right on cue.
But when he gets matched up against a smart coach that has, mobile players, they can't play him anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's brutal part of the NBA right now for 7-footers. You just gotta be. I honestly think Eubanks has more.
It's athleticism.
Yeah, to start on like a really successful team.
Blazers played fantastic defense on that possession right there. Now Hart.
Nurk flailing around,
Yeah.
throwing up his arm.
That wasn't Nurk's fault. That was kind of on Hart.
Yeah, Hart shouldn't have thrown that pass.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, you kind of run into that problem even with some of the best players in the NBA, like Embiid. I mean, Embiid even has been coached out of series because he's just not fast and versatile enough.
You know what's crazy is the slow, like one of the slowest 7-footers in the league I haven't seen coached out of a series, Jokic. That dude, I don't really understand him. He's just like a complete strategy breaker as far as his.
He looks like a guy that you'd see at a 7-Eleven getting a Slurpee, and yet he can just flail and hit a post fade over anyone.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
and his 3-point and his passing, man. He's like a quarterback out there sometimes with his
Seriously.
like one-arm dimes.
Well, let's see Nurkic in the post right now and how that under control, and he turns it over. Oh,
Foul.
they called it. Looks like a kickball or a foul.
Could have been a kickball. He kept that ball down low. But yeah, it's definitely a problem for
See, look at
the
that.
biggest guys in the league. The other guy and he's not a big guy, but the other guy who's kind of like that 7-Eleven Slurpee guy is Luka. It's interesting. It's almost like the game has just gone international enough that there's no one that the NBA can't reach, and so they just get those weird like aberrations.
Sharp.
Oh. There's guys who don't really make any sense because they just have
Are you guys just saying Eastern Europeans love Slurpees or what?
I was saying that
Nope.
they don't look quite as athletic as what we've seen dominate the NBA for the last 10, 15, 20 years.
Ooh.
Jeremy
He
Grant.
really forced that
Yeah,
2-for-1.
Jeremy Grant was really going for the 2-for-1 on that possession.
Oh!
God.
Giannis
Nurkic.
just completely
I think Nurkic
detonated.
is out of the league after that poster. Oh
Take
boy.
a seat.
We were just talking about how
20 seconds left in the first half.
that would be an intimidating matchup to draw, to know that you had to go against Giannis Antetokounmpo that night.
That was a poster. That was a massive, massive poster.
Yeah,
That's
let's
gonna
see what
be on
Anthony
Sports
does.
Center.
It's just going to be ISO.
Step back three.
A lot of dribbling.
Not much there.
Good. Oh!
And Simons
Nice
ends
shot.
the half on a good note.
Nice
Okay.
shot.
That's one of those shots where you just show that talent can overcome some mistakes.
63-61 Bucks at halftime.
I will take that. I think that the Blazers have actually played mostly solid D, but the Bucks have been hitting their shots. And that's sometimes
16
what
from
comes
Simons, 12 from Nurk, 10 from Grant, 10 from Hart, 8
balanced.
from Winslow off the bench. Yeah, a lot of balance there. On the Milwaukee side, we got 13 from Giannis, 10 from Lopez, 10 from Grayson Allen,
Sharp's kind of struggled.
13 from Portis off the bench.
Yeah,
Wow.
Portis is a problem. I feel like Portis always has a great game against us, sadly.
Bobby.
Bobby Newport.
What other games are you guys looking at tonight?
Yeah, I was just about to go down the list here.
Well, I see Tyrese Halliburton over here has 18 points, 14 assists.
He's
And
like one of
that's
the top
in the fourth.
dime guys in the league.
Yeah.
He's young too. So we got the Cavaliers up 96-87 on the Hawks with 7:46 left.
The Cavs are looking pretty good. That was a team that we talked about during the off season as being it would be an exciting time to be a Cavs fan, and they've been looking pretty good. 10-6.
They've kind of had their struggles like the Blazers, I'd say, recently. They've slowed down a little bit after their blistering start,
Mhm.
but I still think they have a high ceiling, just like I think the Blazers do too.
Yeah, it looks like they might beat the Hawks. I've had a lot of questions about the Hawks. I just don't know if they're.
It's funny, same record. They're both 10-6.
Yeah. But I feel like the Cavs are on the rise, and it feels like the Hawks have kind of they plateaued a little bit more than I expected.
They did add DeJounte Murray,
Yeah.
and that's adding another All-Star last year. I still think they could be a team to look for to make a big move this season. Maybe trade a John Collins package to try to get a bigger star.
Mhm.
I've heard a lot of rumors like a John Collins type of centered trade for Anthony Davis or
Yeah, Trae Young needs maybe some help or at least some size to get in there, but
What are you talking about? Clint Capella is the man in the middle. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, adding Murray, I think it was a great move from them just to cover for Trey's weaknesses on defense. And I think that was a smart play on their end to try and do that, because that was like when we saw Dame and CJ backcourt.
Mhm.
Trae Young and Herter backcourt is not a good defensive backcourt.
yeah.
So they swapped Herter out for an all-star, but they traded away a lot of their picks for another backcourt player rather than like a wing, which I think you need a good wing really to really compete sometimes. So
How's DeAndre Hunter doing this year? He was looking pretty solid in the last.
in the playoffs, he was looking good.
Yeah, he did. That dude's an athletic wing.
He is, but is he the piece for them to go? And they drafted AJ Griffin, who's had a really good year actually.
Yeah, he has 14 in this game.
And he had a buzzer beater.
Didn't Murray had a game winner the other night too? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think he did. Maybe a game winner. I don't know if it was a buzzer beater.
Yeah. I don't
The
think-
Bulls are actually up on the Celtics, 63-50 at halftime, which is very surprising. The Bulls have struggled heavily
Yeah,
this year.
after especially their great start last year, they kind of fizzled out when they lost Lonzo Ball. But yeah, they've really struggled this season.
Here is a player that I think you guys should keep your eye on for the Blazers side of things. DeRozan. He went to the Bulls. They were playing really, really well last year, and DeRozan hit 3 different buzzer beaters, throughout the course of the season, and he averaged, like 27 points per game.
He had like a
Efficient.
career year at like 34 years old or whatever.
Is he really 34?
He's definitely up there.
I was gonna say that might be the guy they look to acquire because he's
I thought you were
been
gonna
good.
compare him to Dame as like a guy who Dame's like hasn't reached his height or whatever. Because yeah, I've been shocked about DeRozan's last couple of years since he's gone to the Bulls. He's like had a couple of career years.
He is 33.
33.
He's a little older than I thought. I thought he was 31. So
That kind of fits the Dame timeline though. He's just like maybe 2 years older than Dame or something.
as long as he doesn't start losing his athleticism, because DeRozan uses his athleticism to get to his spots and shoot over people, like with the mid range.
Yeah, I
So-
suppose.
DeRozan without his athleticism, I'd start to worry about it being a kind of a Dame and CJ issue. But if he's bigger,
I don't
and,
think he would be a backcourt. I think he's kind of like a 3 now.
Uh-huh.
He's been playing the 3 the last like 3 years or so.
kind of instead of Josh Hart.
Just because, you start to look at what do the Blazers need and what teams are struggling. Another team that's struggling is the Miami Heat.
The thing about DeRozan, though, that I think makes him a little different than the typical, like, losing your athleticism as you get older, he doesn't necessarily rely on, like, the quick burst. You
Yeah,
know? And I think
true.
that's a lot of what people think of athleticism and losing their athleticism to get older is, like, the quick burst, the quick explosive move or whatever. He's more, like you said, getting to a spot and rising above. And he seems to be getting better at that with age, which could have something to do with his just intelligence for the game, from knowing where his spots are and picking them, even better. I think if it was like the 80s or the 90s, he'd probably be one of the best players in the league because he is the mid-range king. And if his whole problem throughout his career has been not really being able to hit the three.
Totally. I just think that that's the kind of players that the Blazers need to look at acquiring, like a good wing on a struggling team, and that's kind of the piece we're still looking at. I know Hart has played admirably so far, but
Yeah,
that piece.
DeRozan would be a big upgrade for sure. He would also be just a guy who could, like when we struggled in that Brooklyn game, no one could really create their own shot. He'd be a dude who could create his own shot against anybody.
Exactly. Can get a bucket.
We got the Pacers and the Magic. The Pacers up 20 on the Magic with 7:17 left. Like you said, Halliburton, deep double-double in that one. 18 points, 14 assists.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's just the Magic, so there's that. But the Pacers look a little bit better than I expected them to. I mean, the Pacers last year, weren't they like the worst team in the league?
I think a lot of people were expecting them to be the tanking for
The
Victor.
Victors.
Yeah, and somehow it ends up being...
Somehow is Mathurin. That's how. Mathurin has been really good.
Halliburton, too.
Their backcourt.
Yeah, Mathurin I think is on pace to be in the discussion for Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, he is. Probably him and Paolo, right? Although
Looks
right
like
now
he's
open. Yeah, I think Paolo's been out for a while.
That's what I was
actually.
That's what I was just thinking with Mathurin is like Paolo looks dominant, but I don't think he's played like every game.
Mathurin tonight, 6 of 11 from the field.
6 of 8 from free throw.
He's got 20 points and 4 rebounds and an assist in 24 minutes. That's pretty good. 20 points on 11 shots. Mathurin's really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, the Kia Rookie of the Year ladder has. This is taking longer than I thought it was.
The NBA.com
Benedict
website.
Mathurin, number 1.
Yeah, I would
He's
agree
scoring
with that.
20 points a game.
And he's efficient, I feel like.
What's his?
He's-
Doesn't have his percentages.
He was picked 1 pick before Shaden Sharp, so it's not something where we can say, I wish we would have drafted him already, because, Shaden's looked good, but
Yeah,
Mathurin has been awesome.
Jaden Ivey, number 2.
it's all about opportunity, right? Like Shaden Sharp on the Pacers might be scoring 20 points a game.
True.
It's very possible.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
I think Mathurin's a little bit more polished, though. He just had more time in college to kind of.
You're saying he actually played a college season and that helps with
A
development?
college game.
No, dude,
college
that's why we're getting rid of college ball to begin with. Everyone's just going to the G League.
I think it's honestly a good idea for the NBA to get rid of have to play one and done.
That's an interesting thing that we've dealt with in our lifetimes.
Mhm.
It's like
Just a
They
little
had
bit
it.
of back and forth.
Kwame
flip-flopping.
Brown basically ruined it for everyone.
Yeah, he did.
Jaden Ivey's number 2. I think we all kind of had high expectations from him when he got drafted. I remember a lot of people talking about. He's averaged 19 points per game since the last time the last ladder, which I don't know exactly what that means. Probably, I don't know if it's weekly or bi-weekly, but Mathurin in that same time span, 22.5 points. So both of those guys are trending up. Paolo's number 3. And he hasn't played. So I don't know when the last ladder was. That's how they just.
He hasn't played in a
all of
while.
this.
Yeah. He hasn't played in a while, and I think that's gonna. According to Kia, it's hurting his chances, which makes sense to me. He gotta be in there, which is the reason that's the only reason that Shaden's probably not gonna win Rookie of the Year. He's just not playing enough.
He's also not putting up the kind of numbers like them. He's
the
been
only
efficient.
reason.
Yeah, I guess. You're right, though. It is about the situation.
He's getting his chance tonight, and he's dropping a big
1 for
nothing.
5
Yeah.
egg. Yeah, I know.
He can heat up in a hurry, though.
He can. He could have a huge second half.
Let's check in with Corey Jez, the Blazers statistician, at halftime and see what he thinks about it. It looks like the Blazers have been settling for a lot of mid-range shots this game, and I think a lot of those are the Justice Winslow floaters variety, but
Which had been going.
they have been going, but it'd be nice to
Not
get
mad at
more to
those.
the rim and for the threes, because those are the most efficient shots in basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Not the mid. I do
Unless
like
they
the
go in.
mid. Yeah, unless they go in. When you go, no, and then they make it. That was the CJ special.
Yeah.
Not to keep bouncing around here, but we have a few more games to talk about here, guys. It's our halftime break. The Heat are up 13 on the Timberwolves. Timberwolves have struggled this year.
Yeah. High expectations. They traded away a lot for Gobert, and it has not translated yet.
The guy who I don't even think is going to be capable of playing in mini playoff series.
What about Cat? I don't know if he is either.
I know.
His
Yeah.
defense, you think, is a liability? I mean,
Yeah.
just he's been having a rough year so far. He's kind of had a lot of foul trouble, I think.
Because he's trying to play the 4, trying to stay on the perimeter. He can't keep up with the small guys, and they should have seen that coming a mile away. But they tried to zig when everybody zags, and they just zagged themselves out into the 8-8 lane.
Oh, I guess
Go
we should
Bear-
have zigged.
Gobert 0 for 0 in 16 minutes.
Wow. And they thought Donovan Mitchell didn't pass him the ball.
0 points, 4 rebounds,
Wow.
1 steal, 1 block.
That's pretty awful.
It's not what they need.
I mean,
from him.
Cat has 20 points, but they're down 13 to the Heat.
I think the Timberwolves fans had some very high expectations this year. There was a few
We
people.
saw it in our comments.
Yeah, there's a few people commenting that were kind of outraged at us putting them on such a high pedestal, expecting it to be even higher.
Yeah.
some of our criticisms about we don't know that D'Angelo Russell is necessarily a proven.
And I got
commodity.
told that D'Angelo Russell was going to have a fantastic year after saying that I wasn't sure about him. They said, oh, once he gets a real big, well, where is he? I haven't seen him this year. He
Yeah.
hasn't been good.
It's been a mess for them so far. I hope they figure it out because I'm not a huge Timberwolves hater necessarily, but it's been kind of satisfying to watch their struggles after getting told off like that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we put out a video saying they were going to be good, but apparently it wasn't good enough.
Yeah, there's some people that were heated about it.
D'Angelo Russell, 11 minutes, 0 of 3 from the field, 1 for 1 from the free throw line, and he's got 1 rebound and 4 assists, and he's a -9.
Well,
Yeah,
how
he's-
about Anthony Edwards? He's the one that everyone was really high on, thinking that he's going to take him to the promised land.
He's too busy eating Popeyes.
Yeah, he's a 2 of 8, 0 of 4 from 3,
Yeah,
4
wow.
points with a -14. I mean, that's
This is just
That's a
one
bad
game
game.
that we're looking at here, but yeah, he hasn't necessarily exploded statistically this year. You look at his averages from last year to this year: 21.3 points last year, 22.1 this year.
How much of that is chemistry issues,
That's
too?
the thing. It's a lot of it is going to be them trying to figure each other out. You kind of assume that maybe it'll happen, but I think as Blazers fans, we all worried about this coming into this year that we were going to have to spend the first half of the season trying to develop chemistry and figure out how the team figuring out how to play with each other. And it's been really nice not having that happen. It seems like they know how to play with each other, and they're just figuring out the kind of fine tuning some things. But it seems like the Timberwolves really are having to figure out the big things early on in this season. That they could end up having a pretty tough road ahead of them just to try to even make the playoffs. I mean, they definitely have a chance to turn it around and make a run, but when you got your best player that's not really young guy who's not really doing much, and
An old guy that's not really doing much
Yeah.
with Russell.
tell us again, Cole. Say it
I
again how
just
you
remember
feel. Say it
saying
one more
D'Angelo
time.
Russell might be the thing that holds them back, and he has been bad. So I just want to pat myself on the back really quick, and if he starts going off, I can say I was wrong, but it doesn't look good for them right now.
Well, and while we're at it, it's not looking all that great for Miami either.
Yeah, they've been.
I mean, they're with Miami, if they're not in the picture for a deep playoff run, it's a disappointment. I mean, that's just how their organizations run. And I mean, I can't really think of any serious injury problems that they've had. I mean, all their guys are playing, and they're still under 500.
I think
at home.
I think that there's a basketball is just such a momentum game, and I think that there's a real issue with a team making a deep playoff run and having a heartbreaking loss. It can kind of do one of two things. It can either motivate the team to come out and just
Nurkic with the air ball right out of halftime.
Can motivate the team to come out and just be storm breakers at the beginning of the year, go crazy, and that happened with Phoenix a couple of years ago after they lost the championship, the finals to Milwaukee.
Blazers not starting out strong here.
Or it can break your team, sort of break your spirit and sort of break your confidence, and that might be what's happening to Miami. I mean, they were one in and out shot away from going to the finals last year, and it didn't go in, and they were struggling.
Now they're looking like a fringe playoff team.
Yeah, they definitely still have a chance to turn around. I think I have higher hope for them than Minnesota.
I would agree with that.
They already kind of know what to do. They have the oh man,
quick timeout from Coach Billups.
That was an ugly start. When we have these moments where we just don't have anything going offensively, I'd love to see him go through Grant more.
Yeah.
Like Grant hasn't touched the ball this half yet. I mean,
he was dribbling that last possession in the post, but there was nothing there.
Oh, maybe I missed it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of Anthony trying to be Dame sometimes when we get into these kind of stuck situations.
It just is a little worrisome because sometimes the offensive sets really devolve into, okay, you're a superhero, you can create one of our two guards. And it really, sometimes he comes out of timeouts with a good out-of-bounds play. Chauncey does. But sometimes I feel like we go through these stretches of those turnovers where you're just like face palming because it's turnover after turnover after turnover. And when is it going to stop? And then it starts to affect all parts of the game. But once we finally start sharing the ball without turning it over and actually passing, everything looks good on defense and on offense. So
I think you just gotta weather those turnover storms. Try to be careful with the ball if you can, but you can't just because you turn the ball over a few times. You can't let it get you out of get you out of your game plan and just turn into hero ball, because we've all seen that as Blazers fans for the last I don't even know how many years.
15 years maybe.
Hero ball,
yeah.
But sometimes it's been a necessity. And this year it shouldn't be as much of a necessity.
Yeah, no, we've got
That's pieces. The thing. I think some of this, as you kind of mentioned, as Riley mentioned earlier, that a lot of this could be a hangover. Sort of like this. A lot of times I'll see Dame out there dribbling a lot, and you can just tell he's gonna shoot, and he's just looking for his time to shoot or whatever. And it's like, how much of that is kind of left over from times past when he had no one to pass it to? It's like now he does have people to share the ball with. Move it around a little bit more. You'll be able to get open.
Yeah, Grant needs to come set a screen in that situation instead of Dame waving him off. It's just something that's going to take a little time to learn. I'm not really that pessimistic about it. It's just something that I'm seeing. They're going to have to. Dame's going to have to learn. Ant's going to have to learn. We're not the only players on the team who can score anymore.
With a long season like this, there's just ebbs and flows. There's no way we were gonna stay that red hot as we started off the season. But the good news is we know what we're capable of now. It's like that team knows that they can beat just about anyone. And I think that if they can get a good playoff spot, and if everyone's healthy, that's gonna be really where that team comes together.
I think the goal needs to be a top 6 seed. That's the goal. I mean, you might not achieve that. You might be a play-in team, but especially after the trade deadline, we'll see. But just go in there thinking that you can win. Especially the West has been so open, I feel like, this year. There's nobody that's really standing out other than the Jazz. The juggernaut Jazz.
We saw that a couple nights ago. Good Lord, that team was
Clarkson.
Yeah, Markkanen.
And Nurkic misses the easy layup.
Every time the Blazers had a run, Markkanen would hit some ridiculous shot or get an and one or something.
I'll say one thing that kills momentum for the Blazers is Nurkic missing those layups. Just like that. Wide open layup. Where he could easily just turn the ball over and dunk, soft dunk even. Just a soft, just make sure it doesn't miss.
You don't have to explode your knee going for this dunk, bro. Just put it in. Just touch the rim.
Yeah, speaking of
All three of us do this.
And there we go. Here's where we're starting to look a little.
Giannis isn't soft laying it in.
No, exactly. Well, there's going to be a time when they'll just keep passing it over Hart's head, and I think that they're realizing that they can do that, and that's going to be the problem.
I'm kind of surprised Jeremy Grant isn't the primary defender. He was on
Nice
take.
take. That's
He
what
was
I'm
on
talking
KD for towards, and he got the stops we needed him to. We just
Blocks,
couldn't
yeah.
rebound with that last tip in.
about. Yeah, I don't know about Josh Hart as the primary defender on Giannis. That's
A lot of the times they put
Someone
Grant
who-
at the top of the defense,
Yeah.
but in this matchup, I think you need to adjust and put him on Giannis.
I do get the idea because Giannis is a ball handler, so we want one of our best on-ball defenders, but the length is just.
I think Jeremy's a good on-ball
Oof.
defender. Oof. Yeah.
he's just such a unique player. Like you've got to defend him uniquely. You can't just run your normal plan and
Mhm.
expect it to work. Like, yeah, I was gonna say that's got to be a foul.
Well, they just gotta hang close for now because this looks like a storm in Milwaukee, and we'll see if we can maintain.
A storm with championship DNA circulating.
Imagine Chris Middleton being on this team back and healthy.
When is he? Any updates on him? Is it still just that
Oh.
strained MCL or whatever that he had from the last playoff?
I don't know. I think he's coming back a couple months into the season, but
I think it is still from that same injury. Though.
yeah, it is.
they're
I don't know
just
if he had a
taking the time.
procedure on it in the off season or not, but man, they are a complete team when Middleton's playing. They're fun to watch.
Is Holiday out there?
Yeah, Holiday's
Yeah,
number
okay.
21. They imagine as a small market team and a small market fan base that doesn't have LeBron born in your hometown that you can
Oh.
be this competitive. That'd be fun.
That's what I'm talking about. Jeremy Grant.
Do you
man.
remember a few years ago when Dame was trying to recruit Giannis to Portland?
Yeah.
That almost happened.
And it seemed like it
And
was
then,
close.
and then the next year they won the championship. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, damn it!
I guess he made the right
So
call.
close.
But
So close.
Giannis, it was like Giannis never works out with anybody but people on his team, and then Dame and him were about to work out together, and everyone was like so excited. Oh man! Oh, Nurkic in the post, and he got rejected.
Here he goes again.
Oh, left-handed bank.
Flipped it in.
we got someone.
Oh, we
in
got a
the chat.
steal.
We got someone in the
Oh,
chat.
Kyle. Kyle, what's up, dude?
Wondering when we're gonna start Greg Oden.
When are they gonna start?
Are you gonna quit fantasy anytime soon, Kyle?
Hey, I like these offensive rebounds.
Oh, stripped again.
Oh man, yeah, their
Dang,
their
we had a lot of
defense is
chances
looking
there.
pretty good.
Oh wow! Look at him.
That is otherworld.
How do you
Talent.
guard that? Is the real question. I don't think there's a way to guard Giannis.
Yeah, no, there's not.
I get that, man. Though. If I lose, I'm out. I'm not giving Colton any more money.
Ooh, yeah, I know.
You're doing a terrible job as the fantasy commissioner. It's all your fault.
Yep, you're right. I could have controlled it.
Should have got it under wraps.
Under wraps. It's all my fault. So, for those of you who don't know,
Little fantasy.
we're in a
drama
fantasy
here.
football league, and
Yeah, there was some drama this weekend.
speaking as the commissioner, I tried to keep it under control, but it didn't work.
It unraveled. It just completely
Just like this Blazers
exploded.
defense just unraveled on that possession.
Oh, what a play. Was that
Grayson
Grayson
Allen.
Allen? Dude, we need to trade for him immediately, whatever it takes.
That was a beautiful and one, honestly.
Except no one touched him.
Yeah. Kicked his leg.
That was a move, though.
No one came within a foot of his body.
Yeah. Sometimes Nurkic gets those reputation fouls where he's like close. Doesn't.
And it's like
Well-
he can't defend a guard, so it's got to be an and one.
Yeah. I mean, what can you say though? It's the NBA goes how the superstar players go, and then those other players that kind of fall on the fringe, they get called for just random fouls, it seems like.
That's why they altered the traveling rule halfway through the season, because Ja Morant was like, we're not giving Ja Morant that call, so we just
Right.
got to change this.
Nurkic a corner three.
God, he was like fading away.
Yeah, they're not going to let John Morant get away with the 16 steps between dribble.
No, I'm saying
It's
they
the
are.
carrying. It's the carrying that
I'm
he's
saying
doing.
it's a superstar league, and so they gave a directive to the refs to start calling that, and they're not going to because you would get 15 turnovers a game. So they literally changed it like a few weeks into the season and said, okay, we're not going to call that that carry move anymore.
So that possession right there kind of goes to show that you can play everything right and play great defense, but then if you don't hustle down and get the rebound, they'll make a back-breaking shot, and that happens too often, unfortunately.
Hanging tight still.
Yeah.
This one feels like one that we're hanging in there, but there's like no hope.
Yeah.
I hate to be pessimistic like that, but it's like I just can't imagine us closing this one and like having a great second half or a great fourth quarter run and winning.
I've been surprised before this year on ones that
It
they
can
think
happen.
that they're out of it. It feels like they've actually never been out of a game.
Yeah,
except for maybe that Heat game.
Yeah, I was supposed to say the Heat game.
But other than that, they've hung close on every single loss.
Sure.
I feel like they've lost all their games by like 2 points like every time that they've lost. I mean, they've only won by that almost every time.
Yeah, our
too.
point differential is 3.4 points, which is
A possession or two.
yeah, it's it's interesting. Like you mentioned, the Western Conference, there's just no teams that are really standing out and dominating. Right now, the Suns have by far the highest point differential at 7.2 points plus. And other than that, it's like 3.9 for the Kings, 3.9 for the Pelicans, 3.8 for the Mavericks, 3.4 for the Blazers, 1.6. Oh wait, the Blazers are 1.6. 3.4 for the Jazz, what I meant to say. 0.4 for the Grizzlies, 0.2 for the Warriors, and everyone else is negative point differential.
Yeah.
It's interesting, the Warriors are still just barely above even on the point differential.
Warriors have been rough. Clay has been bad. Clay had a good game.
He did.
Last
He
time.
had 41. Was it last night or 2 nights ago?
It
He's
was
still got it in him. That's the thing. Like, he still has that top 75 player DNA in him.
It was evident in
been through a lot.
It was evident in the playoffs last year. I thought that like even if he has lost a step and even if he's struggling, just his presence alone out there makes a huge difference.
At what point in this game do we try and start hacking a Giannis and making him get the ladder out and knock the ladder down?
Yeah, what did he go 3 for 15 or
It
something?
was like
that?
4 for 18 or something like
Oh man,
that. Yeah, that was crazy.
did you see that him knocking over the ladder?
Yeah. Yeah, and then he kind of had a big thing afterward trying to justify it. It's like,
Oh, Jeremy Grant with an amazing block. Wow, that was incredible.
which I understand why Giannis
Yeah, I do
wanted
too.
to.
Oh.
Wow, that would have been a big and one after a huge block on Giannis.
Yeah, Jeremy Grant is a difference maker.
Mhm.
He's just a guy we haven't had in years.
And some people were comparing him to Aminu and Harkless.
Yeah, in this
Was
game,
I? I don't remember doing that.
You
You need to bring the
You
tapes.
said he might be a slight upgrade over Aminu and Harkless.
I think I said that the types of
Just like I
players-
said, Davion Mitchell was going to start. It's the same kind of thing.
I think I said that the Blazers, when they had their best run, it was when they had players like Aminu and Harkless, and I said Grant is going to be an upgrade.
I'm going to find the tape where you say
do it. Play it. Find it.
Play it.
Do it live. We'll do it live.
Thing sucks.
What thing sucks?
Frickin'.
Frickin' thing sucks.
You don't want to get yanked off YouTube for
To play
breaking
it,
their-
to play us out. What does that mean? To play us out.
to play us off. Giannis is hitting mid-range
Here's
shots
a
now.
track from Sting's new album. Take it away.
Well, they got Winslow in the game. Hopefully he can slow down Giannis at least.
Too
a
many
little bit.
Urkels on our team is where Winslow.
Simons
was
with
a
a
bit of
tough
a
shot.
shot.
Yeah, I think what it's gonna take is either Simons or Grant getting hot, and they both just missed shots. So that's
Simons, that was a really bad shot in my opinion.
Yeah, you kind of. I felt like a chuck.
Giannis is gonna hit every mid-range garbage shot.
Those ones that hit the front rim and bounce up and then. That's when
If
you
he's
know
gonna
you're in
hit that
trouble.
mid-range shot, there's zero chance that you can guard him or we can win this game because we're having to sag off of him as it is.
Pacers finished off the Magic 123-102, and the Cavaliers finished off the Hawks 114-102. Losing teams with 102 points. TJ McConnell with a 19-point, 10 assist, 3 steal effort, leading the Pacers.
Wow, that's weird that they didn't put the Halliburton stat line up. He had a good game.
Franz Wagner, that dude, he's still putting up numbers, not in wins, but
The Magic, I thought they'd be a little bit better. They've had a rough year.
yeah, we had a video on them where we were excited about their prospects, and it did not come to pass so far.
Yeah. And we have Kyle asking.
asking.
Yeah, we have Kyle asking if Giannis keeps improving his mid-range and stays at this level for 10 years, does he go down as top 3 most dominant / unguardable? And I think it depends on his playoff success. Just
Yeah,
because, like,
he
with,
needs a few more championships.
with Shaq, or at least deep runs, but with Shaq, he won those 4 rings, and
To-
everybody said he's unstoppable. and
to be
dominant.
top 3, I think you have to have championships.
Yeah. I mean, if his mid-range gets better, nobody's going to be able
Yeah,
to stop him.
he'll win championships
Mhm.
if his mid-range gets that much better.
yeah. I mean, like physically in game, you know, he's up there in terms of just most impressive, most scary to defend players that,
He
that
is
I've
like
ever
the
seen.
he is like the Shaq of our
Mhm.
generation, or of this generation, I'd say.
Yeah. I mean, I think that maybe Curry is also kind of unguardable as long as it's not like one-on-one ISO. If he's like can play off ball, and he's just dominant in a different
Yeah,
way.
it's a different way.
But
More like Kobe, I would say.
yeah,
They're like the Shaq and Kobe.
yeah. But I agree. Kind of what you're saying, Kyle, is Giannis is kind of unguardable if he's hitting his like foul shots and if he's hitting his mid-range. He
Yeah.
doesn't even need a 3.
I guess who's like the top 3 right now as far as, you know, like Kyle said, not the best, but single player dominance. Like how do you?
I think
Luka.
Giannis is the best.
Luka's up there right now.
Yeah.
too.
I'm talking about like for that all-time list. It's
Oh,
like Shaq,
all-time.
obviously Shaq has got to be up there.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean he was different too. Like he wasn't
Wilt.
just Wilt is the one I was thinking of.
I mean, I think you got to put Michael in the list of. He had dominance too. He had skill and flashiness and all that stuff, but he also had dominance.
Yeah, they'd send double teams at him and he'd just score over it
Yeah.
every time.
Yeah, his just leaping ability and his shot making ability, he's dominant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just think Wilt because
Mhm.
he scored 100 points in a game
Yeah.
and everyone's just like fouling him and it doesn't matter.
And he was like close to that regularly. I mean, he was.
yeah, he scored he averaged 50 points per game.
Yeah.
Again, in a different way, Larry Bird had some of that in him, some of that dominant streak. Just like you've mentioned before on the podcast, like saying that he was gonna go out and
Mhm.
score this much and then going out
Yeah.
and doing it.
That's a
Mental
good point.
domination. if
Yeah.
nothing else.
Michael had a lot of that too. It's like
Yeah.
not necessarily just like
Yeah.
bullying people, although he did that too.
When he called Muggsy Bogues a midget or whatever. Have you guys heard that?
And just like his dunk over Patrick Ewing, and
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then Kyle just brought up Kareem, which was the next person I was gonna say. But he
He's
was
like-
more finesse.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's
Yeah.
finesse,
but
but
unguardable.
and a dominant move.
Yeah. He doesn't need a second move.
he
No.
just needs 2
One
moves.
move is enough.
Yeah.
I still think Shaq, when you say dominant, I just instantly think of Shaq.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
Physical dominance.
Yes.
I honestly think if you're talking about pure physical dominance, it's probably like him and Giannis are 2 of the ones that
Yeah.
pop into my mind first.
I would agree. Kareem had more of the skill, like what they were saying, but physically, Giannis is uncheckable. And even every player in this league today is like athletic, most of them, and most of them are super athletes. You know what I mean?
Just one for
But
a poster there.
Yeah, I mean, like, but talking about dominance, I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is Shaq's dunk on Chris Dudley.
I saw you just Googling
like, that's the kind of dunk that you don't get over during your lifetime.
Sean Kemp was kind of another guy like that, which
Yeah.
he could just power dunk on everybody.
Yeah,
In his Seattle days, not in his overweight.
Yeah, I was about to say a lot of those guys aren't really able to sustain it for that as long as Giannis and Shaq did at least.
mm-hmm. Yeah, Giannis and Shaq are definitely.
Kyle brings up a good point about in his prime LeBron. And there is something to be said about the
Yeah, if you're gonna go
when
the
he was at his
physical route.
athletic peak I'd say even in Miami, not
Oh, yeah.
05-ish. Like I guess that series against the Pistons when he was in Cleveland, he was unstoppable, dominant. But when he was in Miami, it was like you could just throw up an alley-oop anywhere and he would just dunk it no matter what.
When the fans were all chanting Seven Nation Army of the White Stripes.
Yeah.
Oh. They invented that chant while LeBron was dominating.
Paid Jack White another few mil.
The Blazers are kind of hanging in there, but it's looking like
Yeah, if
this
Giannis
might be
is-
where we
They're
start
Trying to throw like 3-4 bodies at Giannis and
They worked on that possession.
Oh. It's gonna be an ugly turnover.
they're the
A little
storm.
off.
It would be really nice if we had Dame coming in to help. You know,
Mhm.
like if we were trying to weather that storm in the third because Dame was getting a breather, that would be a different story.
Right.
But we just don't really have a whole lot.
Thanks for
of,
tuning in, Kyle.
See you,
Appreciate
Kyle.
you, man.
Have a good one, man.
Uh,
A turnover off the inbounds. Whoa.
Oh,
and look
man.
who's there to clean it up.
Yeah, he's going for a 30-piece tonight.
Yeah, and I mean, you knew that going in. Hart is not a good matchup for Giannis. That's just how it goes. It was going to be tough, but
There's
I
no
still
good
think-
matchup for Giannis.
I think that Jeremy Grant should have been on him
jeez.
from the start.
Yeah, I think that would have been a better
No,
thing to.
I
at
mean,
least
Jeremy
try.
Grant's on him now, but it doesn't matter. Oh wow, he could have got some foul shots there.
It was better defense than we've seen on Giannis most of the night.
Yeah, but at this point, is it too late?
It's too late.
11 points.
It's funny how insurmountable it feels. It's interesting how different teams
Mhm.
with a team that's at this level, it's like 11 points might as well be 25. It feels like they're just gonna start to slowly pull away.
Mm-hmm. Looks like a timeout's gonna get called, but I don't know. Again, with our scoring situation, if Simons isn't going and with Sharp missing shots like this, Grant has been good, but nobody else has really come to the table, and that's the problem with the Blazers. I think is they need that wing scorer. They don't really have a wing scorer at all besides Grant.
Yeah, Jeremy.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I can see the Blazers going a couple different ways, trying to make those tweaks to actually put ourselves in a position to win, which would be to either try to get a wing scorer or to try to upgrade our big. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's because you're probably not going to be able to do both. You're probably not going to be able to get Ayton and like a really great wing scorer. But
Do you
maybe we can do
remember-
one or the other?
Do you remember around draft time the rumors were that we were gonna trade our pick for OG Anunoby?
Yeah, and he's been having an awesome.
I know.
year.
I've sort of thought about that. Like, I wouldn't want to give up Sharp. That'd be tougher. But just imagining Anunoby on this team, just another.
He would imagine Anunoby as the starting three, and then Hart off the bench with Little and the rest of the whole team. You know,
Yeah.
you wouldn't have really had to give much else away other than. Maybe Hart would have had to go for salary to get OG, but. I mean, still that starting lineup with Grant and OG as like the 3 and the 4. Wow,
Yeah.
that is switchable
I know.
defenders. OG's been scoring great this year. That would have been a nasty starting lineup.
For real.
And then you still would have had like the Winslow off the bench and the Watford and everything and Little like.
I
man.
do love Shane. I love Anthony, but I could see. I wouldn't be totally against the idea of like trying to ship them out for a big. We'd have to get a big name for sure back for them, or a couple of guys. maybe,
I
but-
would.
I
I
just-
would
that
sooner
whole-
trade Simons than Sharp.
Same, But that whole idea of like trying to get on the Dame timeline, I mean, it makes sense to me that, you know, we have these guys that are like 10 years younger than him. It is nice having a balance of young guys and veterans. I'm not against that necessarily either, but if we could get a couple guys that are really in their physical and mental primes to play with Lillard right now.
Mm-hmm. But you kind of said it. It's good to build towards both and kind of work that way. It's just a matter of you're kind of left with the thought of if we don't go all in on this timeline, are we really giving it a shot with either timeline? Like, are we not going all in on Dame, and then is it going to work out for the young guys after that? Or are we just going to go all young? Like,
that's sort of where I'm at. Like, I would probably say that my overall opinion, it really depends on who we were able to get. But if we were able to get like a real stud, I would say go all in. Put, you know, just try to win on this, because it doesn't take that long in the NBA to rebuild. And so if it doesn't work out, if like, you know, hypothetically we're probably not gonna get him, but like if we could trade all of our young guys for Kevin Durant and gives us a 2 to 3 year window, and if it doesn't work out, if there's injuries or whatever, it's like we could probably turn it around, you know. We wouldn't have as quick of a turnaround as we would if we had these young guys.
Looks like there was a either flagrant or technical foul here.
Oh, on Eubanks.
That seems
Down
like
low.
a pretty soft call from
yeah.
my perspective.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out who that whole controversy was even
Whoa,
about.
what
Who
is
shot
this guy's
that?
free throw form? We need to hack that guy the rest of the game.
He's their.
Well, he's probably the one who got.
I thought he was their technical
shooting their text.
It must have been that flagrant call.
Yeah, it did seem pretty soft, but I wasn't really paying super close attention.
When he swished that one, jeez.
But yeah, the issue
was
for
it
me.
Ibaka? Was that who shot that?
I don't know. The issue for me with that whole.
Oh, well, look, now it's
What is going on here? We don't have
a
commentary.
double flagrant or something.
We don't have commentary to let it to clue us in.
Well, yeah, because he's shooting 2, so it has to have been like a double flagrant.
He switched his, and they look pretty good. And now, okay, so they
The Eubanks trade.
they got 1 point. So and now we got 2 free throws and the ball. If we hit a 3, that's a 4-point swing.
I like your thinking, dude.
Hey, I mean,
Let's go to that play.
optimistic.
Just
Calling
do
it
that
out.
every time, Drew.
here it is. Somebody pop out right here for the 3. I'm calling it. Who's it gonna be? Shaden. Oh, it was there.
Oh, man.
It was there the whole way down. Jeez.
Bummer. Bulls pulling away from the Celtics.
That's an
That's
interesting
surprising.
one. What's going on with Boston?
They're 13-3 to start the season. The only team that's played better. Oh, the only team that's played better than Milwaukee really so far this season.
Jeremy Grant goes down in some pain, and somehow he got called for the foul. So
This is why you don't have Jeremy Grant guard Giannis. He got popped in the mouth, it looked like.
and then he got called for the foul somehow. His chin hit Giannis in the elbow.
Foul on Grant's face.
Horford 0 for 7. That's how that happened.
It's all Horford's.
And DeRozan's got 21.
Telling you, he'd be a
8
good
for
piece.
16 for
Any update on Lonzo? Is he ever gonna come back?
I don't know. Let's ask LeVar Ball. Ball don't lie with the first free throw. What even happened to LeVar Ball? Does anybody know?
I
He's
think
gotten real quiet.
Yeah, I think one of his sons probably told him to shut the hell up.
Like, at this
You're
point,
ruining our chances for endorsements.
at this point, he's actually costing him money. So it's, I mean, you got to give him credit. He got his kids in the limelight, but
Yeah.
Oh, ball don't lie on the second free throw. too.
Yep. You throw your off arm out, elbow him. Now the basketball gods are mad. They're on.
But the referees aren't, and they're gonna give him the
I
next
know.
call too.
Oh, Shaden wants the 3 that I called for last possession.
yeah,
He's
he's
off.
off tonight. That's a bummer. If he was shooting
Even average,
we'd be right in
we'd
this game.
tied.
Giannis, meanwhile, from the
If he was
mid-range.
Benedict Mathurin, we'd we have a lead right now.
Yep. You know what? Everybody has off nights, though.
Yeah.
Shaden's had such a good start to the season. I know his last game wasn't that good either, but he's 19 and didn't play in college. I think I'll be fine giving him
Staying
time.
aggressive. Oh, man. I thought that one was going in.
Uh-oh.
What do you guys think about trading
Oh my
Shaden
gosh.
for Sam Hauser? No.
I'm watching to see
Do
if
we
we're
not
going to get into a
respond?
fight here or something. But anyway.
No. Not going to get into a fight. So, here's the thing. When you're just sprinting full speed and crashing into
I
somebody,
know.
I see. He was trying to hold him up.
Well, that's like the kind of the Giannis special. I mean, that's what your boy does. Is he just sprints full speed down the floor, collides with as many bodies as he
He
can.
did kind of grab his neck.
He was trying to keep him up, though, was the thing.
No, it's going to be a flagrant.
Yeah.
And they're going to give him 2
Jeez.
shots in the ball
Just
for
a
sure.
Flagrant shit show.
Yeah, that's like, and that's my thing with that whole play is like, fine, call it as a foul, but when the offensive player, is that aggressive and causes that much contact at that fast, like, just automatically making that a flagrant is lame. Like, I mean, who is supposed to not hit his face when he's coming that hard and that fast?
It's probably going to be on Winslow, right? Is it going to be what they're looking at?
Maybe they'll know that he was just trying to hold him up. That doesn't look that bad. In
Yeah, you're
slow
still not
motion.
supposed to
It won't matter.
grab people's heads or hit people's heads. It's like it's
In-
like an automatic in the NBA.
In full speed, yeah, but in slow mo, all you see is him holding his head like this. He's like
Yeah,
crying.
it didn't look very good.
That's
You're just not supposed to touch people's heads in the NBA. They've really made a point about it.
Well, because it's not like the NFL where they just let Tua out on the field when he gets concussed 3 times in one game.
Yeesh.
Yeah, that is like the most annoying play to watch. It's one of the reasons why I've never been like a huge Giannis fan like you are. I mean, he's dominant and impressive, but that's just not really fun basketball to watch. Just watch some guy go like treat the rest of the other team like bowling pins. Like,
If he was on
who
your
wants to
team,
watch
you
that?
would not think that.
but he's not, so I do.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know. I think it's crazy to watch because it doesn't seem like a human should be able to do it.
He does
Be able to be
make
able to-
some pretty spectacular plays.
And then in the finals, some of the craziest blocks ever in the finals. He had like 3 blocks in a row that were insane.
That lob that Drew threw to him was one of the hypest plays I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, exactly.
I was literally like jumping up and down because I was rooting for them pretty heavy over Phoenix.
Looks like they're just calling it a common foul. That's good. That's what it looked like to me.
I'm shocked. The one of the league's golden boys doesn't usually get the short end of the
They're just
whistle.
gonna continue the slow pull away here.
Oh yeah, no. I
This
don't
has
have
been
much
just
hope
like
for this
slowly driving the dagger down.
It's been our offense. We just haven't been able to maintain, stay close.
Definitely could
How
have
many
something-
how many points do we have in the quarter? Can't be a lot.
No,
I think it's like 14.
Yeah, it has been a tough quarter for the Blazers scoring wise. No one has been hot at all.
I haven't been getting awful shots. Shaden's missed a couple wide open.
Yeah, 24-14 third quarter.
Yeah.
That makes a big difference.
That'll do it. I mean, the Bucks are one of the last teams you want to be down by, double digits going into the fourth into their arena. They're just gonna grind you down to the end of the game. It's just gonna. I think the most important part of the rest of this game is gonna be the fourth quarter, the start of the fourth quarter. Probably when Simons comes back in the game, we're gonna need him to come out on fire if we want to have a chance. Because Giannis will be resting.
Yeah, we're just really don't have the offense right now. Doesn't seem like, which could definitely speak to their
Wow.
defense too.
Mhm, it's true. They've got a good defensive scheme, but I'd love to just see us try to move the ball a little more. Like,
Block.
Oh.
Call the block.
it's a miracle.
On the Golden Boy.
Actually got a call.
It probably was a block on that one. It looked like he was still moving.
Because Watford was just running in there and treating them like bowling pins.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was just
Great
one.
move, Watford. Great move.
Yeah, that was pretty close. But it looked like he was moving. Watford, I'm surprised sometimes. Sometimes I feel like in his minutes, he's either really good or really poor. And I think he's kind of a matchup dependent player so far this year. And I'm hopeful he'll kind of morph out of that.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm a little surprised that Chauncey's really been playing him as a 4 instead of a 5, but I think that's because Eubanks has been pretty good.
Yeah. He has taken his minute. Oh.
It's been kind of one of the surprises of the season, really, is that Eubanks is like a legit backup center for us.
Mhm.
I didn't see that coming.
We got an explosive run from the Celtics here, closing it to 8 on the Bulls. They're 8-0 in the fourth quarter.
Well, the Celtics can do that.
Sharp with the turnover, and Giannis with the
Oof.
left-handed pretty dunk.
Is he up to 40 yet?
Yeah, I know. Every time I look, he scores in another dunk.
Or free throws.
Yeah, in mid-range, he's been hitting every mid-range he's put up except about 1 or 2. He's too much of a matchup problem for us. We need another.
He has been his whole career.
Yeah.
Dang, the turnover.
Blazers have never had an answer for
Here
him.
comes another one. We gotta foul him.
line. God, do we have guys in foul trouble yet? Seems like.
Yeah, Giannis has 28 points, 6 rebounds.
I think more than that. Last time I looked, I thought he had that much. He's had at least a dunk since then,
ESPN wasn't updating for me.
right?
No, it says he has 28 still.
Really? I thought maybe that was wrong.
And then it updates and he has 42.
Well, yeah, mine still says there's 87. Do they have 93 on you? Yeah, see,
You're
he
right.
scored the last 6, I think.
Yeah.
So he's probably
He just missed that free throw.
up to like 34, 32, 34, somewhere there.
Well, it's going to take an ant explosion to stay in this game.
Mhm.
That's the only thing that's going to save us.
It's kind of felt like that since halftime. Really, it's going to be Ant or Grant or a combination
Ant,
of those
Grant.
two.
Or Grant or
Come on, hit this shot. Pull up. At the
God,
buzzer.
everything. Oh, that's
the sear.
That's 2 buzzer beaters the Blazers have had to.
That's a big turnaround because Giannis missed 2 free throws before that. That's a 4-point swing to close the quarter. A little bit of momentum, maybe.
Like to see that. Like to see it continue. Hopefully, the next quarter is not just 45 minutes of flagrant fouls.
Are we staying live for the fourth quarter? We closing it out?
Probably time to close it out,
You think? What do you mean? Close out the?
huh?
Do you want to stay live for the fourth quarter? What do you guys think?
It's up to you guys. We've been going for 87 minutes. That's probably good. I don't know. You want to go because the fourth quarter might take.
Yeah, I don't know. We could start it or we could close it out.
we can
What do you guys think? Vote
If
now.
you're watching, do you want to see more?
I know you guys want to see more.
Nobody's watching.
We have 4 people watching, including 3 of us. Who else has their laptop open? Probably someone on their phone.
As we hit a commercial break. One moment, we'll be right back.
So you didn't get your work message, huh? Even though you were
didn't-
purposefully not responding to emails for your work.
No, that's not what happened at all.
Colton's bosses that are watching this.
You see, what happened is I was grading the scholarships.
Not playing video games or watching Netflix. Right?
I don't do that on company time.
Yeah, because that would be wrong. How was law school today, Riley?
I'm on Thanksgiving break, so law school's
No
on
studying
pause.
yet.
Oh, it's all studying. So.
Did you get some hours in today?
Yep. Built my contracts outline. So.
All right, we're gonna stay live for the first few minutes of this fourth quarter. If anything fun happens, will be here to react.
And
If it's more Giannis free throws, I think we're gonna call it a night.
I got maybe 4 more Giannis free throws in me at this point.
I mean, he'll be on the bench now. That's why I was saying this is the important stretch of the game. But
All right, let's see if the Blazers can make a run.
No.
Doesn't look like it. Well, guys, it's been fun.
Thanks for tuning in.
We'll see what happens.
Simons, I feel like, is about to start playing some serious hero ball here.
He passed one time and it was right back to him, and then he shot.
Tough shot. Ooh,
It's a nice shot.
It's crazy how good Milwaukee's defense is. They just have hands every time someone shoots. There's like 3 hands.
Championship basketball.
Yeah.
They've got it in them.
Good contest from Nurkic on that.
Nice
Nice
rebound.
rebound.
Wofford's a good ball handler.
Oh, nice. That was a nice seal by
It
Nurk,
was.
too. That's one of those,
Coming out with some energy. I like to see it.
yeah. That's one of those plays where the big guy doesn't quite get enough credit sometimes, I don't think.
It's like a lead blocker
yeah,
in
like-
football.
that layup
Turnover.
wouldn't have happened if not for Nurk.
3 here cuts it to 10, and then you can see the light somewhat, at least a little bit.
And then Giannis checks back in. And
Yeah. And then we start hacking a Giannis and make the game last 7 hours, but we come back.
And we're staying live the entire time. Oh, more Giannis free throws. Cool. Hacking Ben
Here
Simmons
comes
didn't
the
really
step
work.
back 3, yeah? Nope, just the step back 2.
Oh,
Nice shot.
you said it. Simons needs to come out
He's getting to his spots.
swinging.
He's playing a little less Dame and a little more CJ.
Hey,
From that
if
mid-range.
you're getting open shots, it's one thing, not just dribbling into a bad shot.
Yeah.
That's when I don't like when he over dribbles. Like if he comes around a screen and he's got a mid range shot, I'm fine with
Turnover.
that. Yeah, playing great defense every
Yeah.
time in the fourth quarter.
Let's go Blazers.
Blazers start to kind of focus in on defense.
Yep, I like the defensive energy. Boy, it would be nice if we had Dame coming in.
Mhm.
I wonder what.
Not shooting 1 for 12 with a sore soleus.
Yeah, I wonder how long he's gonna need to sit to get to 100%. I wonder if that's gonna be a half the season issue that we're dealing with, or
It could definitely bother him for.
Oh, that's a big shot.
Oh!
Okay, it's a game.
and I'm gonna give Nurk the love again on that
Yeah,
pick.
it was a
That
great
was
screen.
that was a great screen.
Inferno, and it's Drew Holiday. Oh.
That was a good take.
7 in the quarter for Simons already. That was quick.
The question is, does he shoot the heat check shot? I would say yes. Wow, Drew, hounding defense.
On Josh Hart. It's not exactly the guy.
Here he comes.
Pretty good D.
Nice
Kick it
pass.
out to Hart. Nope. Gotta shoot. Gotta shoot. Gotta shoot. Watford.
Got it off.
No.
Oh, nothing.
Hounding defense.
Boy, Nurk didn't even get that up to the rim.
Are you surprised? I feel like I say that about half Nurkic's shots. He didn't get it up to the rim.
Wow, that was quite the flip. He just
What was that? He was kind of put into a rough spot by Milwaukee's defense on that one, but
Oh, jeez, he was throwing some bows on that one.
Big miss 3
That
right
was-
there. That
was
keeps
that
the
Grayson?
Blazers in the game. I'm not sure.
Either him or Patty.
Oh,
It's
big
just-
shot.
Good pass.
Oh man, just can't hit that shot to get us back in the game. That was 2 opportunities right there. Cut it under 10.
Kind of get the feeling they're probably about to slam the door.
You can only get so many chances against a team like Milwaukee. And we'll see what happens, but if Milwaukee can't score on the next couple possessions, Giannis is getting up off the bench. Oh wow.
Oh, that was some cheese
And
right
that's the momentum killing shot right there.
there. Wow.
The behind the
Drew
backboard
Holiday.
fade away one leg. Here comes it, Simon's chuck. Yeah. Keeping us
He's
in the
on
game.
fire. He's on fire. He's doing his best. Keep us in it. He just needs some help. Like, is he the only one who scored
Yeah.
this quarter? Yeah.
Josh Hart had that layup.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
a
there's
good-
just
oh wow.
It's
And
just
Grant's
pretty-
not out there.
He needs a time to rest, but I think
Yeah.
he should come in now.
Yeah. This would be a good time for him to make some big
Man,
shots and play some
Hard is,
defense
just
too.
keeping it.
Drew has hit tough shots to keep them in the game.
Nice
Good
pass.
take, Nasir Little on the fast break. Well, it's 10 points, but time's going to start being an issue where you can't trade baskets, and Milwaukee's going to call time and get Giannis back in the game anyways.
So we get the parade of free throws.
27 for Simons. He's showing up.
It's a good game for him.
You could have had Sharp hitting any kind of jumpers this game. It would be a close game. Sucks. He's missed some open shots.
Jeremy Grant's kind of struggled too. I mean, he's hit his shots, but he's 6 of 15 and negative 17 on the plus minus.
Yeah. Part of that is he's been in when Giannis has been in the game, and Giannis has come out and they've started to concede points, and they did that in the first half as well.
Giannis is 4 of 11 from the free throw line. Hacky Giannis time.
It's not a bad idea, honestly. He just had free throw gate where he knocked over a ladder. I think you should do it while he's still thinking about it.
Got in his head.
Is that free throw gate or ladder gate? I'm not sure.
Probably ladder gate.
Probably.
It was free throw because he was 4 for 18, but it's ladder because he knocked the ladder down.
Free throw ladder gate.
Yeah. But that might be the only way you're
Wow,
going to stop him.
the Heat are up on the Timberwolves now. On a 10-3 run to open up the fourth quarter.
Dang. Minnesota cannot get out of their own way. Even when they pull ahead.
Minnesota went 37 to 19 in the third quarter. It's been a
Must have been Anthony Edwards finally waking up.
game of runs. It sounds like.
And
Yeah.
then looking at the Golden State New Orleans game, like Brandon Ingram has 34.
Against Alex. What was the dude's name? I can't even remember. Lamb. Anthony Lamb.
Yeah. Don't you know
Anthony-
Tony Lamb?
Anthony Lamb's negative 28 on the plus minus.
0 points. I mean, still the only starters that they've had score are Kuminga and Poole. We got 5 minutes left in the fourth.
Oh my
And
goodness.
Lamb, Looney, and DiVincenzo have 0 points.
On a combined 0 for 9 on the floor.
Man, I think they made some mistakes on their starting lineup there.
JaMychal Green. It's like, what do I have to do to get a starting nod here?
Well, I don't know if I've ever seen a box score where 3 of the 5 starters got zeroed out,
That's pretty
like basically at the end of the game.
that's pretty crazy.
There was probably some trust the process tanking lineups out there that were
You
almost
think
that
the
bad.
Warriors are already in tank mode?
No, I'm just saying
That'd
as
be
far as
crazy.
their like starters not scoring.
They just give it up already, and it's like, okay, so
What if
Steph
they-
sit for the rest
What
of
if
the
they
season.
do? What if they tank for Victor and put
And
Victor
then they
with
have
Steph?
Curry and
Yeah.
oh my gosh, man.
That'd be a heck of a lineup.
Unfair. Just dominance for 30 years straight. Drew got
And
fouled.
the foul.
Man. Can't cut it under 10. Have had multiple chances to do it, and that's 10's kind of a magic number because once you get under 10, then it feels
Single
closer.
digits.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of magic.
7-8 point game feels a lot different than a 12-13 point game.
Exactly.
But yeah, we haven't really been able to get over that hurdle tonight.
Neither were the Celtics. They're back down 15 to the Bulls.
Sometimes it just takes all that.
Staring down their 4th loss of the season.
Sometimes it just takes that energy to get back into the game, and then once you get back into the game,
I think that happened against Utah. We got down like 16, and then went on that explosive run and closed it to like 3, and then couldn't get over that.
no, we were up by 1, and Winslow dribbled it off his foot
In the fourth quarter?
in the fourth.
Okay,
yeah.
I stopped watching the end of the third.
No, yeah, we were up. Watford with a great move.
Nice take.
Is Giannis back in there yet? I don't see
No.
him.
They want
He's
to give
waiting
him the
for it
rest
to
of
get
the
under
night off.
10.
Oh, jeez. Grayson Allen.
Splash Mountain, Brooke Lopez. In and out.
Dodged a bullet there.
Yeah, that would have been game. That would have been a sign off.
Yeah, that would have been us closing on this.
The rest of this game is going to be us keeping it just close enough to stay alive.
Oh, wow. I
No.
thought that was. I was like, he did the same thing. They can't stop him. Just keep doing
The
that.
best part about this is
Just
going to
keep
be,
replaying it.
because it's just us three watching right now, the best part of this is going to be when they come back and hit the game winner.
And we're
we
all
have it.
Ah!
Then you could like take a clip out of that. And
Nice rebound, Josh.
Joshy boy, oh, Nurk, almost with the shot chuck, baby.
Yeah.
He wanted a heat check. I
That
know
would
it was
have been
gonna
a
happen.
nice shot to make if he had.
Can't get under that 10-point hump.
If they hit a three here, do we log off?
Yeah.
The whole thing should just be us saying that if this happens, we're logging off. If this happens, we're logging
If Josh doesn't hit this,
off. Nice pass. Oof. Nurk has been a little sloppy
A little
tonight.
shaky.
okay.
Under
got
10! Under 10! Let's go!
Here comes Giannis. Yep. Oh no, somebody. That was Jeremy Grant, I think.
To all our viewers right now, we're only down 8.
Hey, it's possible. KG, anything's possible.
Is that I'm on a boat?
No, it's Kevin Garnett.
I know they say that.
Oh my God.
Giannis flips it up and in, and
The
he's fouled. The momentum killing shot. That was just a little flip. If only Nurk could flip it in like that. Wow.
What else are you supposed to do on defense? Like, that's brutal. Yeah, he's a hard guy to defend.
And now,
Dominant, as we discussed earlier.
dominant. Definitely dominant physically.
15 of 21. Jeez, he's like way better from the field than he is from the free throw line.
Well, when you can take two dribbles and go from half court to the dunk, you know, what else?
If only he could do that from the free throw line.
Dunk from the free throw line? Yeah, Wilt. He's going to make this, though. Wow. Ugly form.
It's terrible. I can't believe he hasn't been able to fix
He
that.
used to have a better form when he was a rookie. He was like hitting threes
Yeah.
and it looked natural.
Yeah, somehow he's now got his elbow like in at an angle.
Mm-hmm. Jeremy going to the line, but can't trade twos for threes.
We're all like, oh.
This one's starting to hurt.
Yeah, it's been a slow grind.
Just feels like the Blazers are knocking on the door all night, but just
But
can't.
really have no prayer in actuality.
You say that now, but I'm sensing a Blazer run. Here it is.
Optimism.
I'm sensing it. I feel like the tides are turning. The basketball gods are smiling down here.
I'd love to see it.
Giannis hit one.
Here we go. All right, I'm calling it now. I'm going to predict the future here.
We need to stop.
There's going to be a Grayson Allen or Bobby Portis 3. Looks like Bobby Portis 3. And he is going to miss. Okay, that's what I was
nice
saying.
stop.
Giannis.
Giannis missed at the rim. That's what you were.
I just said that.
You're not listening if you didn't.
Travel. And Jeremy Grant.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
That would have been big.
That would have gotten us to 6.
Jeez, it's been like that for
You
the
know,
last
there's
few
been a
minutes
lot
now.
of open shots missed tonight for the Blazers. I mean, Milwaukee's played good defense too, but
You're not wrong. Shaden Sharp missed a bunch.
yeah, great
Oh.
pass.
Jeez.
That's such a big swing.
That's a
Missing a wide
heartbreaker.
open 3 into that.
6-11.
Yeah, and they're running out of time to trade every other possession buckets. Got it. He's got to shoot that original one.
Oh.
Step back. Okay, now it's down to what, 8? He wanted an and one.
They're fighting.
Yeah.
They
don't
do
wanna
every
go
game.
that.
And they'll get close, but it's too late. Waited too long. Ooh, you got to flop on that screen. He's gonna shoot a mid.
Oh,
Dirk.
that's daggerish right there.
Dirk shot.
He's hit so many mid-range shots tonight. It's ridiculous. Shoot that. Oh. Is that Winslow in the post?
Yeah.
I don't like that.
He threw up the left-handed hook floater.
I don't like it in the post. Well, now we're running out of time here. I'd say if they score again.
We're down to 3:45 left. And we're like, I'm not gonna watch the last 3 minutes.
If they
No,
if they make it 12,
I
and
get
there's
it
3
though.
minutes.
I actually don't even disagree with you. I'm just making fun of you, even though I completely agree.
They've had chances.
Score check throughout the league. Timberwolves back up by 4. 5:12 left. Bulls up 11 with a minute left. Warriors is getting destroyed, even though it's the Warriors.
Yeah, there's not much warrior going on there.
Knicks look like they're about to beat the Thunder.
2 juggernaut teams going at it.
And then later tonight, we got the almighty Jazz and the Clippers tipping off in about 15 minutes.
The almighty Utah Jazz.
Who do you guys have as your MVP so far this season?
Might be Jason Tatum.
I don't know. It's hard to not say Giannis for me. Just the dominance. I mean, watching this game, it's like, what the heck? What's anyone gonna do to stop that? Build
Yeah.
the wall.
I know. Well, that is kind of the way to do it. But it's probably got to be, you got to look there first at those 2 teams because of their records, and nobody else in the league has really stood out at all.
Yeah, I was gonna say Tatum is my MVP so far this season too. I mean, they've been really good. They've won 9 straight coming into tonight.
Mhm.
Looks like they're about to lose, but
Yeah, Tatum looks great.
But I mean, if you go down the list of teams in the West, what?
Markkanen.
Markkanen or Jordan Clarkson?
the Markkanen show. Who's been Devin Booker? Has he been the go-to guy for Phoenix?
He's been average, I feel like.
They're kind of just a team.
Mm-hmm.
Some is better than of the parts is better than the
Can you just say that?
the sum of the parts is better than the one.
Oh, so close.
They got a saying in Tennessee. No, it's in Texas. They got it's in Tennessee too.
You fool me once. Well, you won't fool me again.
Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. You're not gonna fool me again.
That Golden State New Orleans game just went final 83-128.
Love to see it. Love it.
Jeez, 40. Is that 45?
45.
Is that math right?
45-point loss.
Grayson Allen
Biting
with
on the
the
pump fake.
dagger. Grayson Allen plunges the dagger into our podcast.
And on that note, it looks like we are not going to be watching this anymore until
this awesome thing happens. Then we'll tune back in.
this offensive possession ends in a poster and one.
Oh,
Or
what?
just like
All right, guys.
Thanks for watching, you guys. We'll try to go live again soon. Thanks for all your questions, Kyle. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Hanging out. Do it again soon.
Thanks for watching From the Logo.
Bye.